I totally meant to film this when I was wearing makeup, but I forgot I was totally meaning to film this, so I took it off. I'm sorry. Today I have a rather large book haul for you. I was waiting until like December hit or something just so I could be like fall book haul part 2, but the collection has grown to be far too vast for me to keep waiting for that moment. So let's just go through and talk about the books I got. I have a pretty huge stack, so I'm just going to be giving you an abridged synopsis on each of them. Let's go. These first books I got from my friend Sydney, who told me she was getting rid of a bunch of her arcs and was wondering if I wanted any of them, and I was like, yeah boy. So all of these are from her. The first arc I have is The Marvels by Brian Selznick, which is a book that's half told in pictures and half told in writing. It's historical fiction and it follows the family tree of a family called The Marvels, and it's very interesting. I have it from, spoiler alert, the library, so that's also another one of the books that I have, and this one has gilded pages. Very nice, very swag, I like it. The next arc she let me have is George by Alex Gino. I've already read this book, I got it from the library here. And this is a book about George, who is a girl that is transgender, and it's a middle grade, and it's very good. This next arc I have is Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groudon, which I don't know what this is about, but I hear it's good, and I believe it's historical fiction, possibly set in Nazi era. The year is 1956, and the Axis powers and the Third Reich and the Imperial Japan rule the world. The next arc I have is Simon vs. the Homo Sapien Agenda by Becky Albertalli, which has a gay main character, and I'm all about it. This next book I have is called The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. I remember knowing what it was about back when it first came out, but now I don't remember. Then I have Walk on Earth a Stranger by Ray Carson, which is a book about a girl in the California gold rush, and she has magical powers that helps her be able to locate gold. And the last book that I have is Vengeance Road by Erica Bowman. This one's supposedly a Western novel that's YA. The reason why I am now hoarding arcs is because I am in dire need of some rare Shatter Me items. There's two things that I need. This is my little PSA. I am in desperate hunt for the Shatter Me Australian arc, which exists but hardly. I'm trying to gather things to collect in order to tell people, hey, if you have this, I'll trade you literally anything for it. But also, I have a friend with an Ignite Me manuscript, and she said she'll trade it to me for one of these things, which is like the limited edition Grisha box that was handed out to very selective bloggers. And I can't find it anywhere. I mean, I can find it places, but those people that have it do not want to give it up. So hopefully if I just send them a picture of like a quadrillion arcs and I'm like, hey, you want any or all of these for that box? I can get me an Ignite Me manuscript. Books for trade is so much fun. Hi, not to assume that any of you guys are God himself, but she will also accept Lee Bardugo manuscripts in exchange for an Ignite Me manuscript. So if you have a manuscript, I really need this, okay? I'm sorry. Okay, I'll end the voiceover now. Moving right along, thank you to Sydney for sending me those books. Next, I got 3 books from Quarterly Book Box, which they sent me a package of, and I have a video of me unboxing these, so I'll just talk about them very abridged. The first one is A World Without You by Beth Revis. The box was centered around Beth Revis, so this has little sticky notes in it with annotations of what she has to say about her book, and this is a book about a kid who attends a time travel academy. They also sent me a Balthazar by Meg Wolitzer. She has to go to a boarding school for troubled teens, and it talks about her getting acquainted with Sylvia Plath's work. And then they sent me a third book, which I've already taken home, so I don't have it to show. I also was sent an uppercase box this month, and the book that they had this month was Vasa in the Night by Sarah Porter, which I still have no idea what this book is about, but it's blurbed by Lee Bardugo, and it's signed. The next book I have was sent to me by Penguin, and they sent me the 50th anniversary edition of The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I haven't read The Outsiders since 7th grade. I want to, but S.E. Hinton just lost all my respect on that little Twitter fiasco that occurred where she stated that her characters were not allowed to be interpreted as gay because she did not write them that way. I have to go announce my thing for Because I Love to Hate You. That was my alarm for the 5-minute warning. Be right back. Alrighty, we are posted. That put me in such a good mood. Instead of refreshing Twitter to see the populace's reaction, I'm just gonna go ahead and hop on into the other books that I got this month, so let's go. This next book is for class. Boo! But it relates to feminism and masculinity and gender-ish stuff, so I think you would probably like it. It's called Guyland by Michael Kimmel, and this is a book about actually masculinity, so it goes in and explores like the entitlement. We read this already, and I will say it's pretty good, but it's a book about white guys in college, and I don't need to read a 300-page book about white guys in college to know that white guys in college are horrible. So it was interesting and I liked the points that he made, but it wasn't like life-altering and it wasn't new information to me. I'm going way too long about that one. Next book. I got sent a copy of Roseblood by A.G. Howard. I had an interview with her live on my channel. You can go watch that, and I talked about this book. I felt super bad because I didn't finish reading the book before the live show because I've been swamped with life and I'm still only on page 70, but it's so good so far. It's a Phantom of the Opera retelling set in current times about a girl who goes to live at a boarding school in France. Things ensue, she meets certain spooky people. It's so good so far. The next book I acquired is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This is a book that I know a ton of people have talked about, and especially last year it was really prevalent on BookTube, and I was never really interested in it because the number one thing I heard about it was that it just was meh, like there's nothing new about it. So I always knew I wanted to try this out one day just because it had so many people talking about it, but I never wanted to have to pay for it. So Sam from Thoughts on Tomes offered to send me her copy. She didn't want any more, so this is Sam's, and thank you Sam so much for this copy. I didn't have to pay for it and I am happy. If you don't know who Sam is, I will link her channel down below. She's a gorgeous, wonderful human. I sent her a book in return, so maybe in her next haul you will hear my name come up, so go check that out if it's up already, maybe. This next book I was sent by HarperCollins. It is Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. This is her newest book coming out on January 17th, and it is a sci-fi book that's set in dual perspective about these people on this planet, and they are not friends. It's very different from Divergent. It's sold to Star Wars fans, but honestly, I'm saying this is literally just Shatter Me in space because everyone has powers, and those powers really creepily reflect the characters in Shatter Me, so I'm just saying this is the unofficial prequel to Ignite Me because... And I have a review up for this right now, so you can go check that out. This next book is a finished copy that I was sent from Harlequin Teen. I'm gonna burp. That was really sad. It is Something in Between by Melissa De La Cruz. This is a contemporary book about a girl who's like super popular on the cheer squad, going to go to college, but then her family's visas expire and they're actually in America as undocumented immigrants. So it talks about her struggles having to deal with that, and then she meets a guy. I'm really good at synopses. And it just deals with really hard-hitting social topics like that. The next book I have is from my friend Fallon. She got me a couple other items, but I already took them home. The book she got me was The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. This book is the second book in the Kiss of Deception trilogy. I read the first one last year and loved it, so I knew I needed this one. It's been a hot minute since I've read the first one, but I do think I'm gonna enjoy it because it was so interesting. I almost said interessant, but that was German, and I'll try and speak English, but I'm pretty sure you could probably guess what interessant means. Interesting. I am such a German scholar. So I got a text from my good friend Savannah. I don't think she watches my videos anymore, but hi Savannah if you do. She has a friend who wrote a book and she wanted to see if I wanted to review it or just like own it or read it. She's a super picky reader and she said she read it and she really liked it, so I knew even though this is self-published, it's got good credentials behind it, so I accepted it, and this is Reason Number 1 by Briston Brooks. It's contemporary and I've read the first page and it was really witty so far, so I actually do think I'm gonna like this one, even though I'm not really big into contemporary anymore. Since this is a book written by a young person, I think it's gonna ring very true, and I hope that that will make it very relatable and enjoyable. This next book I have is a present from Tasha from Fairy Drugs. I'll link her channel down below. Another German, really awesome. I don't know why I said another German as if I've already mentioned a German in this video. We did a little book swap on Book Depository and she got me Bitch Planet, which is a graphic novel. I don't know why saying the word Bitch Planet made me really want to go bitch please. It's probably because I usually don't curse on my channel, but I'm sorry mom or grandma if you're watching. The book said it, not me. So this graphic novel is in a world where women who are too fat, too thin, too loud, too shy, too religious, too secular, too proud, too sexual, too queer, too black, too brown, too whatever it is they'll judge you for today, they get exiled to somewhere that they call Bitch Planet. I don't know what to expect from it. I just think it's gonna be super girl power and I'm excited to read it. Thank you Tasha for getting this to me. These next two books I did a trade for, so they are as follows. Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, which is one of her novels. I know she's written a couple of them, and I've read her speech called We Should All Be Feminists, which I thought was really beautiful. I just think she's a gorgeous human being. I don't know what this one is about, but it does follow Nigerian characters, and this was pictured on Orange is the New Black, so that must mean it's important. I don't know. I've heard a lot of good things about this author, and I've only read her speech so far, so I feel like I should give her writing a go. But then the second book I got from that same person is The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. This is a historical fiction novel set in Russia. Is it? The Red Army, is that Russia? Yeah, Hitler's armies attack Russia. It is. So this is about a girl named Tatiana and she meets Alexander Every time I hear the name Alexander, every trigger in me goes, Alexander! Anyway, I've heard such amazing things about this. I know Katrina from Little Book Outlet likes this series, and I think Reagan likes this series too. I'm not huge into historical fiction, but if it's something massive like this that everyone seems to love, I'll give it a go. And the last book I have is called Shatter Me by Taha Mafi. I've heard a lot of people talk about this book on BookTube. I know it's like really popular. It's a trilogy and there's some novellas that go in between a couple of the books. It's about a girl who can't touch anyone and then she meets someone who can, and like they want to use her in the army or something. I don't really know what it's about. I just gathered that from the synopsis, but again, people really rave about this book. There's like a girl that's like obsessed with it. They call her WhittyNovels, and it's just like, since she loves it so much, I thought I'd try it out, and I hope it's gonna be good. The writing style is really cool because see, it has these crossouts. I think that's gonna be really interesting, so I can't wait to read this book. Clearly I'm just pulling your leg, but yeah, someone offered me to send me their copy of Shatter Me since they're just gonna get rid of it, and I was like, sure, why not? Moving onward. Actually, not moving onward, that's the last thing I have. Thank you to everyone for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed these books that I have. I know it's a lot. Did I buy any of these books? I don't think I bought any of these. I just have an obsession with books for trade. Okay, hope you're all having a wonderful life. I will see you next time. Goodbye.